double MG, hold up. Hold up.
Thought it didn't have before, but nothing compares to where you take me.
Well, my name is Mitchelle'l. That's my real name and my stage name. My father's from Eritrea in East Africa, which is between Ethiopia and the Red Sea. And my mom was Creole, like Louisiana Creole. So that's my background, that's my makeup. Born and raised in Houston, Texas. I just, you know, when you think of a name, you want something that represents and reflects yourself. So I'm like, shit, what better than my real name, which is already unique as it is. And when I throw it out there, people gonna think it's a stage name anyway, so I might as well just run with it. So I did that. And that represents me to the fullest. It's had a lot of influence. Mainly I would say because, you know, we've been known to use a lot of live instrumentation, you know what I'm saying? Everything ain't just 808s and snares. Definitely got a southern sound. I'm already a soulful singer as is, so I'm not gonna be able to take that out of me anyway. But if I have music that accompanies that and goes along with it, then that's when you get my sound. It's got a lot of UGK elements to it, like, you know what I'm saying? And that being because UGK had a lot of soul elements to it, you know what I'm saying? You know, Pimp, you know, he was drenched in that soul, you know. So the same way, I'm kind of bringing that into my music, but as a singer though, you know. I would probably say my voice, first of all, you know, it's pretty soulful, and then I can go into my falsetto register, and so it's, you know, I kind of got a sound of my own, especially when I get to blend in my harmonies and stuff, you know, that's like your DNA, like that's your thumbprint, your vocal print, you know, your vocal blend. So I kind of have my own little vocal blend that I do, just my influences, you know, because I got a lot of soul influences from Marvin Gaye, Al Green, Bobby Womack, you know, all of the legends. But then, you know, I'm an 80s baby, you know what I'm saying? So I came up on Pac and Big and, you know, hip hop in general. So all of that is tied into, you know, to what I do. When I start singing, it's not too many people who can A, do it, and B, are gonna sound like I sound, because I have a rather unique sound. So I just went with what I knew would stand out.
Just you and me.
I mean, of course, it was the love of music, and then the love of expression, you know what I mean? Just another way to express yourself. And so I love that about it. And then the actual performance of it, the creation of it, the performance of it, you know, the production of it, you know, it's just something that I fell in love with. And anytime you can do what you love and make a living from it, you know, I think, shit, that's heaven on earth right there. So, you know, that's what I've always been working towards. Because nobody really just knew in my family that I could sing, except my brother and my sister and my cousin. We had a family reunion / birthday party kind of thing. They decided to have a little talent show kind of thing, and I wasn't even gonna go up, but my cousin made me go up. And once I went up there, sang, everybody was tripping out. I remember my freshman year at Jones, I was going to Jones in South Park, and I would stick around after school. I would miss the bus and just stick around after school just to fuck around. And I remember running up on a couple of dudes that was singing in the hallway, and probably about 10 girls around them. And I was like, oh, okay, that's what it is. Started doing my thing, and I stole the show. And that's when I really realized, like, okay, it might be something here, man. I like that.
Okay.
I was working on music and making, I don't know, a demo or whatever. I was just working on getting me a collection of songs that I could present. And I had it on the internet, and this was right before MySpace fell off. And so one day I go to my mail and I see a lady asking me to send her some music, which, you know, I ain't really pay much mind. And so the next day she hits me again. She's like, yo, I let a lot of important people check out your music. It would be in your best interest if you sent me some more music. So I'm like, man, who is this? So, her page didn't say anything about Grand Hustle, so I didn't know who she was. But then I looked at the return address and I saw Atlanta, Georgia, Grand Hustle. So I hit her back asking if she was affiliated with him or whatever, and she's like, yeah, nigga, I'm the general manager. You gonna send me some music like I asked you to do? And I was like, oh shit. So I overnight her some music, send her some shit. And long story short, man, they ended up moving me out there, and that became my family, So a group of people, that you can call family, this late in life, because usually that don't happen. You got, the family that's your blood family, and you got people that you just grew up with, You don't really just get dropped into a situation like that to where you get a new family. That don't happen to everybody every day. So I don't take that for granted. So soulful to say the least. Just imagine Al Green, Marvin Gaye, Curtis Mayfield, but these niggas is singing about some weed, some drink. They sing about relationship thing. I got definitely some relationship songs, some love songs, but it's all just, it hits home. It's all some relatable shit, It's not, I'm not singing about the stars in the sky and all that shit. I'm not doing that. It's all some relatable shit. It's the fact that it's kind of timeless, you know what I'm saying? And it sounds like a lot of that shit, you could drop it right now, you know what I mean? And it would still have that same impact, and the substance still applies to right now because it's timeless shit. So I try to keep that, present in my work and make sure that it's some timeless shit. You can definitely expect to see some singing, you know what I'm saying? Not some singing, but some singing, some soul, and in emotion, so to speak, because I'm not a big dancer, so to speak, I don't really get into it. If I have it my way, I'll be performing in front of a live band, and that's usually my setup. Definitely something you can look forward to with some live music. Probably Marvin Gaye if I had to pick one artist. And that's saying a lot, you know what I'm saying? That mean I'm as good as a Marvin Gaye. But as far as direction and sound, that's probably what I would have to go with. Man, just the whole fact that you can wake up in the morning and go to the studio and roll up, put the music on, and just kind of create. Like, that's the whole creation process, and the freedom to do so. That's the biggest thing to me, Like, I don't take that for granted. My childhood was definitely, there was a lot of music being played in my house, and that was a lot of old school, a lot of 60s, 70s music. And so I soaked all of that up. But then, like I say, I'm an 80s baby, so of course I soaked up hip hop and fell in love with that. So really all of those things I kind of grew up on, from the old school artists that I mentioned to the people that were popping in the 90s, the Jodeci's, the Tupacs, the D'Angelo's, the Maxwell's, all of that, MJ, since you say entertainer. Because, he just embodies that, everything that you would want an entertainer to bring you. Mike was giving you that. Then he was cutting edge, so you gotta get that to Mike. I was off the wall, and I had the little red jacket and shit, for real. I was off the wall, man. So, favorite artist, I would have to say Marvin Gaye. Like, hands down. And then my favorite rapper, Tupac.
Loud moans as I'm giving you all that you've been asking for.
Just small pieces of success have kept me motivated, you know what I'm saying? As soon as I feel like, man, I'm about to say fuck this shit, man. I think just go find some security, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what everybody wants, is some type of security, to be secure, to be able to raise a family and do, you know what I mean? Go travel, do whatever the fuck you want to do. So every time I get to feeling like that, something will happen, you know what I'm saying? I get a placement, I get a phone call, hey man, such and such wants your hookings, and you know, it's always something that just reel me right back on me. And I'm like, ah, shit, I must still be on the right path. Like, you know, Tip is the one that told me, like, well, because I was having one of those moments, and he was like, man, at the end of the day, you just gotta go 365 days back from today and see what you was doing, how you was doing it, and see how have you grown since then. Has there been progress? Has there been movement? You know what I'm saying? If you can say yes, then you're doing better than most. You know what I'm saying? If you can say no, then you need to address that and figure out how to change that going into the next 365, you know? So every time I had to stop and check myself 365, it's always been, nah, it's been progress, you know what I'm saying? So as long as I continue to see progress, it's gonna feed my motivation to do more. That feeling that you get, that positive reinforcement that you receive from, you know, doing what it is you do, you know, that feels good.
I need some weed, man. I need some weed. Somebody call weed.
Pure in the Galleria, and when they were just opening up about a month ago, and so it was a Pure / Drivers Row event. Mr. Rogers was on the ones and twos. Paul and Slim were hosting. Bun was there. Everybody was there. You know what I'm saying? It was a real Houston function. You know, that was probably the most memorable one, just because of the people that were in attendance, and it was me bridging, you know, connecting the dots from when I left and went to Atlanta, and now I'm bringing it back home and connecting all the dots, you know. Tip on Collect Call was my first one, which was a bonus track on the Paper Trail album. Then I was on the No Mercy album, How Life Changed, with him and Scarface. Then I was on Jeezy's Thug Motivation 103 album, High Learning, with Devin the Dude and Snoop Dogg. A-Ball and JG's 10 Toes Down album, and a bunch of different, you know, mixtapes from Travis Porter and Nelly, and you know, just a lot of works. Also on the writing side, I wrote, or co-wrote rather, Can't Stay, which is Ty Dolla $ign featuring Tip. That's on the Sign Language Project. So this last placement I just had was T.I.'s last single, G Shit, with him and Jeezy featuring Watch the Duck, which I'm not singing on it, but I wrote the hook. It's always dope to be able to work with an artist, especially an artist that you kind of grew up jamming their shit, you know, and you had a lot of respect for it, and for them to have a mutual respect in what you can bring to the table, you know, it's dope. It's validating, you know, all the time that you, energy and shit that you can put into, you know, just trying to get to that point, you know, when somebody, you know, tips their hat to you by allowing you to be on their project and grace their albums. To me, that says a lot. I haven't quite settled on the title just yet. The EP is pretty much done. I have Tip on there. I have Wale on the song. I have a song with Boosie, and I believe I have Trey on there as well. Either way, you know, it'll be about 6-7 songs on there that you can look forward to. I'm gonna try to give you different elements of my sound and what I can bring to the table. Like, you know, this next song that I'm putting out is called Spill and Drink. Obviously, it's a drink song.
If it's weed, then
yo, I think it'd be dope to work with Devontae from Jealousy, man. I think that should be dope. I've always respected dude's work and his arrangement skills and whatnot. So I would like to get in the lab and kind of pick his brain, see how he comes up with those arrangements and harmonies and shit. Success is about being able to do what you love and be happy and be comfortable. You know what I mean? That's success. And shit, especially if you can find some security in it to where, you know what I mean, you feel that you're making it on a consistent basis to where you don't have to depend on nothing else from it, you know. That's beautiful.
Remember days we were slanging the hard in a crib with no lights.
I don't feel like I've had a defining moment yet, man. I don't even want to define it just yet. I just kind of want to keep molding it, because it's definitely been a long journey. When you end the year, each year, and you're still going in with momentum, that's all that I'm kind of
Terrible choices, like the time we made away with that.
Definitely have a lot more material out that is built on my career, so and my project, and having people featured for my work, as opposed to the last 5 years where it's been me featured on a T.I. album, a Jeezy album, Nelly, or whoever, So just kind of taking everything that I've already done the last 5 years and flipping it and addressing it, catering it more towards myself, So yeah, wherever that takes me, man, Godspeed. Ultimately, the message is always going to be love, so, as long as we're pushing towards that, I think that would be the impact at the end of the day. If you're going to be able to see a window into what's going on right now in 2015, at least from my eyes anyway, so anytime you can kind of be a voice for the people, you know what I mean? If they give you that, you can't just say you are that. Like, that has to be earned, and they have to be able to relate to you and know that you have their best interest in mind as well. So, if I could get to that, man, that would be great. That's not something that I would run from.
Even though they steady changing, this is still a hustle. Still got them same rules, may not be the same game. We done found some brand new money, still we maintain the same integrity we upheld in the street life. Living a motherfucking dream, niggas singing like.